First, I want to say thank you to the organizers and frontline leadership for showing up and showing out for our ancestors, our families, and our communities across this country. And I want to also thank the admin teams of the organizations. Yes, the admin teams, because I do know and understand that it's our admin teams that's often the backbone of our organizations and the operations that keeps us going, often tasked with making a dollar out of 15 cents. And so it's together that y'all are doing what it takes, the hard work, the heart work, the committed work, the love work of justice, liberation, and building the power of Black, Indigenous, Latinx, trans, poor, and working class, women rich communities across this country. And for that, I am, we are, our country is, our world is forever grateful to you and all the things that you do and are doing yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. That's where my family is. So when I think about what being in good company and community feels like, I think it feels like Jackson. Cozy, warm, abundant hospitality. It feels like conversation over a tasty meal with people that you care about. It feels like your favorite cold drink on a hot, humid Mississippi summer day. It feels like love, basically. And it's our ancestors, artists, and our collective movements that ground me in this belief that we are here to create the future that we want. And I choose to never forget the many who died for my freedom. So I come from nearly 20 years of organizing and building power in South Central Los Angeles, power that's connected to a broader movement for social justice. And I'm now leading the Solutions Project, which funds and amplifies grassroots climate justice solutions across the US. Status quo philanthropy needs to be disrupted. And when I say status quo philanthropy, I mean investing where there's already hyper investments, which tend to be white, larger organizations, and underinvesting where there's been historic disinvestment, which tend to be BIPOC led organizations. So we need to challenge ourselves to be about what equity actually means, which is leveling the playing field. And to do this effectively, it means over investing where we've historically under invested for years or decades. It also means acknowledging the transformative change organizations have been innovating with minimal investments, nearly creating magic, right? But that's because of the people power and the vision and the commitment of these organizations and communities coming together with a mission and a purpose. But imagine if we actually resourced organizations to win. I think about 2020 and all the articles that came out describing that billionaires and corporations were the biggest winners of 2020, while our communities on the front lines and organizations have been battling COVID, the climate crisis, homelessness, lack of jobs and access to clean water and food, you name it, with minimal resources. We need to disrupt that narrative. That also needs to change. What does it mean for philanthropy to democratize and liberate capital and truly let it go and allow communities to steward and make decisions around investments? There's this other question that I've been holding a lot lately. While I've been moving through philanthropic space, again, I'm new on the scene, coming out of organizing and power building. But because of that work that I've done for like nearly 20 years, coming into philanthropy, I'm actually really clear who I'm accountable to. Um, and because I communicate that with our board members are clear about it too and understand and agree. on who we're accountable to. And so that's a question that I think is worth interrogating in philanthropy, especially when dealing with issues of racial, economic, and climate justice. Who are you accountable to? And depending on who that is, affects how you move, it affects how you lead, how you invest, and how you show up. Environmental justice communities intrinsically understand the intersectionality of issues, understand the importance of not only thinking about how we engage with each other, but how we engage with our land, understanding that climate justice is racial justice, understanding that climate justice is about workers, it's about jobs, air quality, access to clean water, food justice, transportation. It's in the environmental justice movement where climate is seen as an opportunity to create a new economy that doesn't have the same structural inequities and racism and income inequality that exists today. A just energy transition is an opportunity for cross issue, cross sectoral change that doesn't leave communities behind. And we are in a moment. This is a moment where lots of money is moving around. People are waking up to the injustices that many of our organizations have lived with for generations and our communities have lived with for generations. So that environmental justice leaders really need to snatch up the money, both private and public federal dollars. The Biden Harris administration committed 40% of climate investments to frontline communities. So the time is now. Grab those dollars and put them back into communities where it belongs.